G'day and welcome back to Torment Thursdays. It's time to take on the first real combat the game has to offer. Last time round, we were playing a talkie character and the aim was to avoid it as much as possible. This time round, no, we're gonna embrace it. We're gonna smack him right down. So firstly, one of the cool things that I like about these setups is that you are meant to actually look at these things and do stuff with them. So once this combat starts, we will actually spend a little bit of time getting certain characters to these items to do things with them. The other thing is that the combat is hopefully going to be a little bit more dynamic than your standard RPG fare. As you step on to what looks like the back of an enormous construct, four strangers approach you. In the lead is a wiry man with parallel scars running from cheek to collarbone on the left side of his face. He gives you a welcoming smile, pulling on grey gloves embedded with pulsing lights. He's about to say something to you when he notices Callistige. Cal, I thought you'd sworn off trawling the reef. Found anything tasty? His eyes travel up and down both you and Elegern. Odds and ends, Coro. Nothing that would interest you, I'm sure. Her words are calm, but she's gone quite still. Let's go with bluntness. What do you want? Right to the point, this one, isn't she? I knew that most of the draft scavengers are these days, but it's a rare pleasure to see a new face. It smells disarming. All I want is information. Fallen star. Landed near here not long ago. Don't suppose you were around to see it. I don't trust him. Elegern hisses in your ear, but loud enough that Callistige can hear too. Any friend of hers is a cheat, a killer, or both. What does it say about you, dear? She gives Elegern a venomous smile. Killer or not, Coro is not a man who can be trusted with unvarnished truth. Tread lightly. Let's go with, where did this star land, friend? Well, if I knew that, I wouldn't be reduced to harassing noble travellers. I never saw it, you see. My employer did, and thought, who's the most trustworthy team I can send at a moment's notice? Luckily, they were on another assignment. We were interested and weren't too drunk yet, so... Okay, let's go with, what are those gloves for? Well, unwelcome but anticipated complications. He does not elaborate. He does so love his ambushes. Callistige whispers in your ear again, even though her mouth is closed and she's not looking at you. He didn't have the gloves when I knew him last, but I'd wager they're connected to the devices in the area. So, Cora says, apparently unaware of Callistige's interruption. The star, have you seen it? Let's go with... I'll be honest with you. Saw the star, don't know where it landed. Ooh, I can get someone else to do this. So I could, What? Hey, what? Okay, I don't know what happened there. Failure. Cora regards you skeptically. You have such an honest face. Lies don't belong in it. Let's be truthful with each other. Fallen star, you have two choices here. Both of them are dreadful. First option. You surrender to us, and we convey you to my employer for, well, experimentation and dissection. Frankly, not pretty. That's where it is. He holds up his second figure. Second option. We kill you, and the old man. Try not to kill Callistige. Bring your body to our own place. Apologies, sweetness. Elegern whirls of Callistige, his face tight with fury. You told him we were here, didn't you? Couldn't resist selling me out one more time. Are you really so paranoid? She sighs in exasperation. Darling, she says to Coro, take your thugs and go home. Otherwise we'll have to rip you to pieces. The world is already so untidy. What do you say, Fallen Star? I'm not going anywhere with you. What a shame, Coro says, and glances at his companions. Now! So, glove disables these things. And we start. And we've got more Silvertide. Oh, that's interesting. So he starts off with a punch, she vanishes, and Ixa runs over and hits one of us. Okay, Callistage. She doesn't have the most HP, does she? Okay, let's try Callistage using this. Random energy pulses continue inside the shallow depression. The glass lens lies attached in the center, but it'll be tricky timing getting to it. Redirect the psychic energy at your opponents. Let's dump her speed on it. Okay. Success! With careful timing, it's easy to twist the lens into what's hopefully a more favorable position. The lens glows in warning of an impending energy pulse. The field of energy expands outwards and worms into eyes, ears, and mouths of Korra's team. Hope drains from their faces, followed by a numb stare. Then the shallow depression becomes dark and dormant. So that was Callistage's action. I kind of hope... Is there a way... Can she still attack? Really? Okay, so action's already been used, so she can't use her character abilities like this. But, Nope, none of them. So it's basically attack or move? Can we attack? No, it's move. We'll do that. Okay, sensible in that it turns around. Okay, Allegan. What have we got? If I hold tab, I can see things that we can interact with. So I've just got this one. Let's run up and do this one. A long tube emerges from the plating of the dead construct and winds upwards. The duct terminates in a hollow cone. Every few seconds, a minute drop of green liquid drips out of the end and steams as it strikes the ground. It's, a round dial rests at the base of the cone, ringed by a thin crust of corroded metal. It appears to be a valve that controls the flow of the noxious substance, but it looks like it hasn't been moved in centuries. It's green, so it's got to be acid or poison. Otherwise, games are lying to me. And, you know, games shouldn't do that. Now again, we can dump a bunch of effort on this. Really? Okay, so his must have 2 points of might edge. But yeah, we'll just dump all of it. Go for it. Success! With a crack, the valve budges a centimeter, and a thin stream of noxious fluid pours out from the nozzle and hisses into the metal surface. You open the valve a bit further and aim at the ensuing spray. So I'm reckoning we do this. Innate bonus major penalty. Demoralized. Right, so what we're doing is we've got a bunch of penalties on this. But we've also got... They've got some penalties that almost match it. So we can spend nothing and have a 35% chance. Or we can spend 1 to increase the damage and the chance of success. Well, we'll do that. Okay, so hit him for some burn damage. Now you... Ixa, it's easy, right? Because we're trained and they're demoralized. So demoralizing effectively acts as an asset on this, increasing our chance. So the base difficulty is actually quite hard, but we can just beat him down. Why is this a might check though? Aren't we using a speed? No, we're using a bashing weapon, which I assume is might, and this would be a speed check. Right, interesting. Okay, so it might have been better. No, I think this is still a better choice. Because, I mean, obviously I can spend 1 point of effort. Or I can not. I'll spend the point of effort, because I might as well. And then we biff in 5 damage. We did have Opportunist, so we can make a basic attack whenever someone becomes distracted, and that's it. The other thing I can do is make a move away from this person. Why not do this? Just back up a little bit. Oh no. Okay, that was pretty good. An aspect I hadn't considered. And then you go. Ha, you'll have to do better than that. Did he therefore recover? Nope. And there's that lady. And she biffs Callistage. And you're going to attack me? No, you got enraged and then you did stuff. Okay. So search would work, hide, or onslaught. Routine. So that means I basically cannot miss. What we'll do is we will hit him. 8 trans-dimensional damage. Whew. And I can't actually apply any effort to this, so I just have to hit and do a ton of damage. And hobbled. So I gather that's another disadvantage. Allegan, so he can use Innovate to get rid of his own fettles. He can adapt to increase his resistance. He can hide. He can use his living tattoos to boost himself for how long? It basically boosts his next action. Gotcha. And he's got no items. So I can run up and hit this guy, or I can shoot him. And yeah, this is routine because he's demoralized, he's enraged, he's hobbled twice for some reason, and so he's got a whole lot of penalties there, and we've got a bonus. So we'll just hit him, take him down. Bonk. And now my turn. You also totally flanked. Yep, we just hit for a bunch. Hastened. And he's right, so he's on fire basically. And there is a healing item. Right, we're meant to be able to talk to them as well. Didn't want to do that. I'll have Callistage talk on the next attack. I guess we'll just keep doing this though. Right? I mean, okay, right, there is a cost. It's a cost I'm willing to pay to win a fight quickly. And you can run up and hit Vilnick. Crit and everything. Ah, wait, I right-clicked. Oh, right-click is to talk. Excellent. Okay, take him down! We need that falling star! Alright, remind him he's fighting a woman who fell from the sky and survived. He can't win. Ah, and this is where I would be able to, if I were more of a talker, boost that action. But instead, we're just doing this. Failure. Ha! You're trying to scare me? The only one that scares me is Cal, and that's only because there's so many of her. He gives Callistage a wicked grin. 20 shins to whoever takes down the falling star. Alright, fine. Okay, you immobilize Allegan. You'll have to do better than that, mate. Sure. Callistage, talk. Can she talk? Does she get any different options? Tell him he's going to get him and his friends killed. Okay, so that's out. Let's just take out his friends. Allegan. What can you do? Innovate. Sure. Okay, that's a really long animation. Oh, I have to pick someone. Then no. Living tattoos does nothing. Hide. Let's try a very difficult hide check. Really? He got spotted immediately. Unsurprised, really. Okay. Enter. Last cast off. Yep. We'll just go and beat them down. And so now, Crow looks around. The point of his crossbow droops as he takes in the direness of his situation. Well, Falling Star, seems you put me at a bit of a disadvantage. What do you say we let bygones be bygones, He flashes a handsome smile. Remember, I'm just the employee here. All of us gotta eat. I'd rather be part friend than wounded enemies, right? Sorry, I'd rather part friends than wounded enemies, wouldn't you? A good suggestion. He's an honest boy, mostly, if you're on the same side. Of course you'd say that. I feel safer if both of you jumped in the reef. Okay. Let's go. Let's just say, yeah, sure. Just go. Right as you are, as strong as you are, smart. Well, I'll be going then, eh? I just like it when games are actually willing to let you finish a fight without murdering everyone? That was a fiasco, I have to say. Surprised you let him go. The changing god I knew wouldn't have done that. Crosses his arms. Anyway, hope you've learned something. Can't trust her in any reality. Excuse me, are you suggesting I had something to do with Koro's plans? Are you suggesting it didn't? Old friend of yours just happens to be waiting for us, armed and outnumbering us, as we return from the greatest find the reef has seen in years. Too convenient for me. Too convenient by far. They attacked me too, in case you had missed that. Well, it didn't kill you. Maybe you intended for them to weaken us so you could stab us enough sleep tonight. He throws up a hand, forestalling Calistage's retort. Look, don't care. Fact is, don't trust you anymore. Wonder why I ever did. This is the last we travel together. Got enough to worry about without having to watch my back 28 hours a day. You got me, kid, or what? You're really gonna walk away from each other over this? Oh, no, this is the last needle that crushed the Neen. You haven't seen 1/10 of her depths, not 1/20. She's a backstabbing bitch. This mess here only proves it. Always a paragon of class, Elegant. If I did have any interest in betraying you, do you really think I would need Koro's help? Yet this is the thanks I get for cuddling your pain-rattled, judgmental weakness for so long. I have had enough. She turns to you, child. I'm happy to guide you, but I will not walk another step with this paranoid buffoon. Honestly, I do kind of feel like he is that. I'll be fine. Finally, something with your ground. Kid, she'll chop off your neck, spit down your throat. I'll get you where you need to go and let you sleep at night to boot. It's up to you. I'll be fine on my own. I don't want to travel with either of you. Makes sense. He shoots a look fraught with meaning at Calistage. If you change your mind, you'll find me in the underbelly. I travel around, but I'll keep an ear to the ground for you. On the other hand, if you prefer civilized company, you can find me at the Order of Truth. I'll be happy to aid your quest, but do not come with Aligarn in tow. I will not suffer him again. The feeling's extremely mutual. Farewell, child. Come find me. Interesting. And it'll be interesting to enter the city without a guide and, like, from the appropriate angle. Okay, so this is a cipher. Thick S now, so that's what they were using to get us. Knock us over. Akin to how a seashell is held to one's ear can bring forth the sound of the sea, merely holding this teal bulb-shaped flute sets one's loose clothing and hair to flow about them as if affected by ocean currents. Upon blowing into the instrument, a violent pulse ripples forth as swarms of nanites thicken the local atmosphere to a consistency much like water. Shaped by the wielder's will, only those seen as enemies find themselves slowed or otherwise hindered by the viscosity of the air around them. Common opinion amongst Aeon priests is that these devices were all scavenged from the same ruined city of aquatic mutants deep within the Carrara Sea. A renegade nano has claimed proof of an alternate theory, claiming a rare species of translucent amphibious birds known to hunt off the shore of coastal towns produce these instruments, which are in truth the fertilized egg of these elusive creatures. Their migratory patterns are too complex to decipher, and thus they're doubly rare due to both the difficulty of reliably finding their nests, as well as the diminishing numbers as they've been hunted to near extinction. Okay, sure. And the buzzer, which is a light ranged weapon. I mean, it's not too bad, but it doesn't do a great deal of damage. So we're just going to take stuff right now. Voila! This finely made armband, or perhaps bracelet, something larger than most humans, is made from ordinary gold and encrusted with worthless gems. If you focus your gaze on it for a few seconds, it disappears from sight and can no longer be felt against the skin. It reappears at its last location once no one is looking there. Okay. And then just a sword. Take it. And you. Bounder. This is another crisis item. Heavy and solid, this brown orb feels like a rock that's been worn smooth by a constant flow of water. On one side there's an indentation to fit a human hand to more securely grip it. There seems to be what appears like scratch marks around the edge of the indent, as if someone has tried to desperately claw at the device. When activated, while the user gazes at a specific spot, the bounder absorbs the user and teleports it to that location. New line, new line. When you position your hand in the indent, you start to feel a gentle pull. A blue ambient ring at the temple of the sphere. The temple of the sphere springs to life as if fixing its gaze on you. As it becomes activated, the orb becomes anchored in midair, and it's now an extension of your hand that you're no longer able to move. Your locking mechanism released within the orb allows you to press the indent. You can't shake the impression that you're not holding the orb, it's holding you and waiting to be activated. It's basically a teleport. Gotcha. Yeah. Cool. And then this is a better bladed weapon, which we will probably swap to. Weird fork blade thing. An image blocker, which is a thing that lets you hide. The shapestone object has a small featureless button on it. When pressed, the device sends out psychic interference, blocking visual perceptions of the holder. Subjects affected by the interference will notice blurred and distorted squares over the user's body and be unable to see the user at all unless looking directly at them. Cool. Yep, we'll take it. And we're really running into cipher sickness. For those of you unfamiliar with Numenera, basically you have a maximum number of ciphers you can hold without ill effects, and the more you have, the worse it gets. So what would generally be advisable here would be to give other characters ciphers. Can I even? No, I can't even put them in my inventory. Like, ciphers you're meant to use. I probably should have used Unstable Detonation in the last combat. And possibly Fresh Vapors. I don't really see much point in Fresh Vapors, especially for this character. But, I mean, at least it heals me. So I'll probably sell that. But the point is, they're meant to be really common in terms of, like, you're meant to find them all over the place. And so, yeah, what we're seeing is minor, major cipher sickness. And so, once we hit 6, I mean, we'll be pretty useless. We're already pretty useless, actually. Is there anything cool to look at here? Didn't really look at this much last time round because we kind of deliberately surrendered and you skipped that entire fight. So here we are. We are now in the city of Sega's Cliffs. Or will be once it loads. And we're actually entering the way the player is meant to enter, not the way most people enter. So the real question is how much it emphasizes that. Because last time I kind of got the impression that this early area that we're entering doesn't really... like, it almost feels like it should be an entrance. And I guess at one stage, before the reef was there, this was like a proper major entrance to the city. So let's go chat to this fella. Wind spins off the distant sea, sweeping between you and the boy, whistling up towards the peaks of Sega's Cliffs. He glances at you, then at the crowds in the plaza beyond. He appears to be looking for someone. So you wandering down in the reef, he says. Did you get to that star before the others did? He looks back at your face and grins. Guess not, that ain't a face, it's found a good pick. Let's go with... a lot of people weren't looking for the star, did they? No, not too many. Gotta be a carker to go down to the reef. That place is haunted. But despite his hard words, his eyes settle on you, studying, deciding. His mouth settles into an irritated line. Look, he says, rubbing his hand over his stubbled scalp. You hide it well, but I can tell you're new here. I ain't trying to offend you, but I don't like leaving folk new to Segas on their own. If you have any questions about the city, or Circus Minor in particular, I'll answer them, free of charge. Just this time, he adds hastily, maybe till the end of the day. I don't usually give advice away for nothing, understand? This voice may be a mistake. At least I know he's not a companion, but this could take a little bit of time. Sure, but what makes me so special? You? Nothing, he says. Like I said, I hate seeing people lost, and I figured you might be. Do you live here? No, really, he says. Walls are nice, but they keep you in one place. I like to move around, explore. You don't have a home? Don't need one. I carry my life with me. He pats his bag. I'm looking for the cult of the changing god. Well, you're not going to be able to miss them. They camped around that weird clock on the other side of the square. He settles his hand on his hips. What do you want with those carcass anyway? They owe you something? I just need to ask him a few questions. Fair enough. Even carcass get it right sometimes. Where's the Order of Truth? In Government Square. From here, follow the path round to the left. Look for the stairs going up. So we're in Circus Minor now? Yeah, in the heart of the city, he says, folding his arms. The levies and politicians will tell you that Government Square is the center of Segas Cliffs, but they're not thinking right. He spreads his hand, framing the plaza. When folks come to Segas, they come here. They talk and trade, flirt and fight, tell stories. Everyone who comes here leaves different. His hand's full. Anyway, what do you want to know? What's happening on that stage? An execution, he says, rolling his eyes. It'll be going on for a few days yet. All those folks think that they'll learn great truths from the nightmares of a dying man. He shakes his head. It's not worth my time. Might be worth yours if you haven't seen one before. Does anyone around here know how to fix complex machinery? He says, scanning the plotter. Prada, that's the bug-laden market, is pretty good with machines. You might ask her for advice. He rubs the back of his neck. Otherwise, you'll want to visit the foreman in the underbelly. They might be able to fix it if they can stop fighting long enough. What are you doing here anyway? Just got back from a scrounge, he says. I'm trading salver for supplies before I set out again. Enjoying the sights, you know? His eyes sweep the crowd again. Perception. You can't help but notice he doesn't seem to be enjoying himself. He looks downright unhappy, guilty even. Who are you looking for? He flinches, then glares at you. At first it seems he's not going to answer. Girl I met a while back, he says last, looking away. She was new in town, like you. Just wondering what happened to her, if she's okay. He swallows. Anyway, do you have any other questions? I want to ask about something else. Where can I find a place to sleep around here? Cult of the Changing God might let you sleep in their camp, or you can try Tranquility's Rest in Caravanserai. Okay, what can you tell me about this city? Well, there's also the Reef of the Fallen Worlds. We've already been down there. Tell me about the Reef of Fallen Worlds. Only carcass, slavers, bullies, and diggers desperate for scrounge go there. And you, of course. He stares past you in the winding steps. Besides, folks think it's ordered by ghosts from the previous worlds. I've seen enough down there to agree with them. But of course, you don't need me telling you what it's like. You're lucky you didn't get robbed on your way back. Or worse. He eyes you expectantly. We passed some corpses on the way up. We paid our respects, of course. Of course, he says, casually leaning around you to look for the corpses in question. I want to know about the Caravanserai. That's the port of Segas, he says. Any ship that can fly lands there, makes their trades and takes off for foreign lands. He turns a scornful eye towards the distant flags on the high crag. Plenty to see right here in Segas. Don't know why people insist on leaving. Okay. What is Cliff's Edge? Damn dangerous place to live, he says, laughing. Folks build their houses out on the ledge over the sea, and everyone gets upset when one of them falls. Huh, here it's been getting worse lately. Watch your feet up there. What can you tell me about the underbelly? Imagine an underground place where the city sends everyone they don't like. Cannibal, cultists, mutants, carcass and thugs. Now to stink like burning metal and cooking meat. That's the underbelly. Alright, you mentioned Government Square. I did, he says, nodding. But you can guess what's up there. Nah, no idea. Come on, explain it to me. Let's go with farewell. So we just got more blue, but again we don't really know what that means. And here's our execution. We can get the Tybalt quest, we can talk to various people. We can get our introduction to the levy. Here's the Nick Themeron. I remember, like, these are all pretty interesting things. And maybe we'll do the Tybalt quest now we've got stuff. Oh, they've actually added merchants in since last we played. This kind of thing. The sign over this door says the army room. Buy, sell, trade. Under the awning, a skinny man with stooped shoulders and a concave chest is cleaning a filth-caked weapon of some kind. He salutes you with a greasy hand. Done in a moment. Have a look around. If you need anything, let me know. What can you tell me about Sega's or what do you have for sale? Alright, so here we actually have the buy-sell interface, which was not in the game previously. So we can actually get various bits and pieces. So an 8-fingered mace is... So this is the one we looted, but these are ones. So I guess people do occasionally loot that tree. Or am I misreading this? Oh no, so it's 8-fingered mace compared to the mace. Duh. So the mace is just slightly worse. But they're worth this, like it costs the same. Spray flesh is a health potion. Cool. And this is a speed weapon, a decent speed weapon, but not great damage scaling. This we're going to use, I think, at this point. Wait, you are a heavy bladed weapon. We would rather a medium bladed weapon, which is in fact this one, which is what we were going to use. Right, this is better because it allows us to use speed, which we have an edge in, so we'll do that. We can sell off this. We'll sell our other junk. This literally appears to be something that is only there for sale. So I'm going to keep it, just in case I'm wrong. I'm not going to keep the buzzer. It just doesn't seem very good. I'm not really going to keep the crystalline shard. And the antagonist is also something that looks like we should just be selling. And given we've already had situations where laughters come up, really weird that I can't sort my inventory, then I guess we will leave it where it is. So the next thing would be to sell stuff. Do we want to be able to hide? Do we want intellect edge? No, but we do want the heal. We'll sell this off. Do we want the ability to knock people down and it's a speed ability? Sure. Do we want the bounder? Do we want the ability to hide? The ability to hide seems pretty neat. We really ideally want to get rid of two things. I think I will get rid of this grenade. So the question is then the teleporter or the other one. I'm going to get rid of the teleporter. There we go. We're now no longer worried about Cypher Cygnus. Okay, this is a one-handed weapon. So we could grab a shield, medium bonus. Yep. I didn't even mean to grab that, but sure. A little bit awkward having our fingers poked through it, but I'm sure that doesn't impact its effectiveness. And we will grab a crossbow. If we can afford it. Which it looks like we can. We're not going to bother with spray flesh, even though it would be a sensible thing to get. But that, yep, that seems like a perfectly serviceable interface. I think I'm going to mostly ignore a lot of these conversations. Because we've already done it before in the previous playthrough. Unless there's something that someone's heard really changes, I think I'm going to stick with what we know. Here we go, let's fail a memory check. Okay. Retry cost 2. Can I just keep retrying? Okay. That is a little bit of a bug. Because I'm not getting any penalty for retrying. I already don't have any intellect stuff. Okay, the machine teases you with images. Sorry, your memory teases you with images of the machine in pieces. You cannot remember any more than that. You close your eyes to better concentrate, sinking into the currents of a memory that does not belong to you. At least not to the body you're in. You hear the thunderous heartbeat of the operational generator calling to you from across centuries. You open cold, focused eyes, ignoring the screams and drifting tangles of black smoke. Your attention is focused solely on the health of the machine's heartbeat. You reach into the hissing guts of the interior, adjusting and tuning, hoping. The heartbeat fades into the past. Your body's hand rests on the rusty surface of the long-dead generator. Let's examine it. Your hands slip over the cobbled-together components and greasy cables. The buttons worn by frequent use. It's a strange accomplishment, this machine, clumsy but deft. Amateurish but masterful. Only a brilliant mind could have melded so many disparate parts into a functional device. Unfamiliar memories whisper to you. This device was used, though you don't know how, to generate a field that unmoored everything within from time itself. Your fingers scrape a rust patch. Lifting them, you see a circulated symbol etched into the side like a maker's mark. Okay, so let's leave it for now. And I think we'll come back to this next time when we'll deal with the circus and go through the next quest that I think was added in the beta, which will be going inside the clock, kind of. Until then, have a great day. Bye.